Good evening and welcome to Lane Community College. My name is Knight Uretsky. I'm joined alongside Logan Thompson as the Lane Community College Titans face off against the Clark Penguins. The Titans, they're currently ranked number 3 in the NWAC. They're going up against the Penguins, who this season just a little bit above 500, 12-11 overall. They're 5-6 in conference. However, they're 4-1 in their last 5 games. The last matchup between these two teams, it was a 5-point victory for the Titans. Should be a good one here tonight. Obviously, we just had a blowout in the women's basketball game, but what's new? And we're off for the men's game here. As the Titans are going to start with the ball. Lane's going to be wearing the white uniforms, going from our right to our left to start. Clark in the black uniforms, the Penguins. A three-pointer to start. No good from Isaiah Wallace, but the putback's good by Brad Lackey, making his 4th straight start for the Titans, and it's 2-0 for Lane. Albert gives it over to the right side. Johnson going to put up a triple, and that's good. Clark takes the lead, 3-2. Lane back on the offensive end. Ford going to throw it over his head, down to the low post. Brown lays it in. 4-3. Titans reclaim the lead. Rodwin Albert gives it over to the right side. Rippery spinning his way on Wallace, now going down to the low post. Clark backing in. McGarvey overshot the shot, and it's going to be Lane basketball as Ford brings it up the near side of the court. To the top, Brown, a three-pointer. It's good. 7-3 for the Titans. As Zach Brown gets 5 points in the early going. Clark hands it off. Albert, he'll put up a three-pointer. That one won't roll in. Rebounded by McGarvey. Ford pushing up the near side of the court, looking for an outlet. Finds Lackey to the left of him. He'll drive inside the arc. Goes to the post for McGarvey and out for Ford. He'll go to the foul line before giving it to Brown. Another triple. That one won't go. Rebounded by McGarvey. Lackey, a three-pointer now. Too strong off the heel of the rim. Wallace, a rebound inside. Goes up again. No good. Got his own board. Lost it momentarily and now is fouled. Seven to 3, Titans lead, 18-10 to play here in the first half. Ford inbounds it in, low block, Brown lays it in, 9-3. Zach Brown has 7 points in the opening 1 minute and 52 seconds of the Titans lead as a timeout's going to be called. So far, Logan, for this Lane team, they've been able to score points, haven't had a lot of trouble on the offensive end, getting offensive boards. What have you seen from Lane that has resulted in this success?
Well, I mean, you know, the easy one to say is Zach Brown already has more points today than he averages on the season. He already has 7. He averages 6.5. And, you know, he's been a key. But, I mean, like as you said, it's the offensive rebounding has been really good so far for Lane. They've gotten a couple of those. That's been key. On the other end of the floor, they've played good defense. They've allowed one shot to go in from a guy I went to high school with, Sean Johnson, of the Clark Penguins, as we get back into it.
Rodwin Albert will bring it up the floor. Albert had 29 points in their last game. That was an upset against number 7 Mount Hood. Albert's driving inside, lays it up and in off the glass. Lackey gives it over to the left side. McGarvey into the corner for Wallace. He'll take a dribble to his right and switch places with McGarvey. Ford goes back to Wallace as they go to McGarvey in the near corner. Out to the left wing for Wallace as they swing it back to Ford on the right wing. He'll bounce it down into the block for Brown. Picks up his dribble and he lost it. Taken away by Alberts. Throws it up now and it's laid in by Rippery. 9-7, the Titans lead. Ford at the top. Dribbles his way to the left. Now going to the low block. McGarvey, a dunk.
And a big dunk there from McGarvey. Big physical player right there.
Dominic McGarvey, the sophomore from Eugene, went to Sheldon High School, 6'9", and able to display some of that size. Albert's no good on the layup. They're going to throw it up the floor for Lackey. Strong finish from Brad Lackey. and the Titans extend the lead. It's 13-7. 16:42 to play, first half. Alberts trying to go down low for Johnson, but a foul is called before then. Foul is going to be on Ford. That's his first. First foul on Lane. The Penguins are going to check out from the baseline. Alberts throws it to the top for Clark. Swings it over now for Norris. He'll take a dribble before giving it back to Alberts. He'll put up a triple, and that's good. Ford throwing it up. It's a steal. Clark got it on the sideline. Gives it over to Alberts. Alberts angles his way to the right wing. Calling for a player. Gives it off to Johnson. He'll put up a triple, and that's good. We're tied at 13 with 16:10 to play here in the first half. Ford over to the right side for Lackey as the Titans will reset, slow things down. Inside the arc, Lackey gives it to Wallace. Out for Ford, a triple. Too far to the right, rebounded by Wallace offensively. Ford at the top, gives it over to Lackey. Right wing, a triple. Too strong off the heel of the rim, but Wallace again inside, puts it back in. 15-13 for the Titans.
Well, those offensive rebounds have been absolutely key for Lane, and it's been a game of getting those offensive rebounds, getting putbacks, and 3-pointers.
4 rebounds for Isaiah Wallace in the opening 4 minutes of this game. Ford comes up with a steal and will slow things down, gives it to Lackey, to Brown, back to Ford on the left wing. He'll bounce it into the block for Brown, giving it to McGarvey, but he can't finish the dunk, but he's fouled and going to the line.
And McGarvey really using that size is not only is he 6'9", he is a big 6'9". Really physical, had the dunk earlier, and this time not able to flush it, but he's going to get a couple shots here.
McGarvey, the tallest player on the floor, at the foul line. Dribbles it twice, puts up the first free throw, and it's good. Titans lead now 16-13. McGarvey with a chance to make it a 2-possession game. And he does. Excellent trip at the line for McGarvey. He's a 62.2% foul shooter, but he's able to go 2 for 2 there. Johnson, step back, long mid-range jumper, short off the front of the iron. Ford snagged it and brings it up the floor, crosses a man inside, goes up, lost it in the air, and it's taken away by Nicholson.
We didn't so much as lose it as he got blocked.
Alberts to the left wing, over to the right now. 3-pointer from Norris, just a little short. Now out for Alberts after the clear, and that won't go. Rebounded by Brown. 14 and a half left here in the first half. 17-13, the Titans lead. Brown at the elbow and knocked out of bounds on the sideline by Alberts. Going to stay here with the Titans. 19 seconds on the shot clock, and a timeout's going to be called on the floor. Lane currently leading 17-13, and they've been able to dominate the boards. They've out-rebounded Clark 11-2 in the opening 5 minutes and change here in the first half. Talk about that impact on the offensive glass, especially because they're out-rebounding them 6-1 on the offensive end.
And the thing is, for Lane on that offensive glass, it's not the typical guys you would think. It's not the 6'9" McGarvey. It's been a lot of the smaller players, and not only are they getting those offensive rebounds, a lot of the time those are putback offensive rebounds. I think it's been about twice now that has been the case, and, you know, that's been a great thing for Lane. And besides that, you know, just getting those offensive rebounds puts them in good position to have their offense work well, and it's been really good for Lane so far. And, you know, it's something that you wonder, is this going to continue? Because with offensive rebounds, it almost seems like a game of chance sometimes. But I like how aggressive that Lane has been on that offense, on the offensive board, on the offensive glass there. And I expect it to continue as Lane has a 4-point lead, and something tells me it might start to grow a little bit.
Tyshawn Ford has 4 assists so far. Talk about his playmaking ability with no Jay Elmore on the floor today.
Well, I mean, his playmaking ability is going to be key for Lane today, you know, especially missing a second playmaker. Having that primary playmaker to really be out there facilitating that offense, and he's facilitated an offense to a lead so far. And, you know, you really have to maximize your time out on the court, especially if you have another player who usually helps you out of the game.
4 new players on the floor, and Blythe, Chapman, Crawford, and Makinich. They're going to go to Chapman on the high elbow. He'll go inside the block, kick it to the corner, and Makinich a three-pointer. It's good. 20-13 for the Titans. Colton Makinich gets on the board right after checking in.
You know, Makinich only a 25% three-point shooter.
Oh, foul inside as Liam Clark is going to go to the line now. I believe they'll actually check out from the baseline there and call it on the floor.
Lucky there that wasn't worse. You always hold your breath when you see a play like that, especially when you come up high and then go down hard.
They're going to get it in for Clark. They go down to the corner for Johnson. They'll go back to Clark at the top and try to swing it to Alberts, but it's knocked out of bounds by Lackey. Going to stay here with the Penguins. 13 seconds on the shot clock. 13:53 left here in the first half. Johnson inbounds it in for Alberts. They'll put up a three, no good. Rebounded by Chapman. Makinich clears and up the floor for Crawford. Angle his way to the top before going to Lackey. Back to Crawford at the top. He'll go to the foul line. Chapman, mid-range jumper is good. 22-13.
Good little pass there leads to a wide open mid-range jumper. Lane will take that all day.
Inside Johnson, too strong off the glass. Blythe snags it. Blythe hands it off to Crawford. He'll angle his way inside the arc. Out for Chapman at the top. They swing it around for Lackey in the corner. He'll drive baseline before giving it to Crawford at the top. A triple up in the air off the heel of the rim, snagged by Lackey. Blythe. Crawford jump step inside, out for Lackey, another three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Blythe inside, and the offensive board leads the points for the Titans again, 24-13.
And Blythe got a couple of offensive rebounds there in that possession, and that first offensive rebound he got just kind of fell into his lap.
Johnson lays it up and in after the long pass from Albert, 24-15 now. Blythe gives it over to Crawford into the corner for Makinich. He'll go down to the low block for Chapman. He'll throw it back to the top for Blythe. Right wing for Lackey into the corner. Makinich, another triple. Too strong this time. Blythe, another offensive board. Makinich, he'll drive inside. Goes up with the left hand. No good. A little short. 12:15 to play first half. Clark backing his way inside, and a travel's going to be called. A turnover by the Penguins.
Pretty obvious one there. Tried to go to one side, moved his plant foot a bit there, tried to go to the other side, and he can't do that. And he's going to get called for the easy travel call for the rest there.
Isaiah Wallace running up to the scores table, about to check in. Crawford gives it over to Chapman. He'll put up a triple, bottoms it. Khalil Chapman, a three-pointer. He's only a 13% three-point shooter, but he's able to bottom that one, and it's a 12-point lead. Inside, Clark is fouled by Blythe and going to go and shoot two.
Well, you know, if you have that wide open of a shot, you take it, especially with Lane's game plan lately really seeming to really want to get some three-pointers, having, 3 to 4 guys outside of the arc at all times. They want those shooters to shoot. He may not be who you consider a shooter, only shooting 13%, but right there he was.
First free throw is good from Liam Clark. Makes it an 11-point game as Wallace will check in for Lackey. Will Chapman, last game against Portland on Monday, he had 12 points and 10 rebounds. So far, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Clark no good on the second free throw, As Wallace hands it off to Crawford, he'll bring it up the floor. Makinich at the top, gets a screen from Chapman and goes back to him. Gives it over to Wallace on the left wing, back to the top for Chapman. Take a dribble forward, handing it off to Crawford. He'll jump step his way into the block. Lost it momentarily in mid-range, gives it to Blythe. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Makinich throws it inside for Blythe, out for Crawford at the top, takes a dribble inside the arc as the horn expires, no good. Albert throws it up the floor. Layup no good from Cooper. Good defense by Crawford.
And Lane really trying to use that pick and roll. Didn't work that last possession, but that could change at any point.
Crawford too strong on the left-handed layup, but a foul going to be called inside, and I believe Chapman's going to go to the line.
And as I was talking about there, Lane really trying to use that pick and roll. They don't get it the first time. The guy who gets the ball then goes and sets the screen himself. And it's been a circle of that repeatedly. But they've had a lot of success of using the pick and roll to draw the defenders in and give it to outside shooters. And that's how Lane's gotten a lot of their points so far.
Crawford actually the one shooting the free throws as he misses the first free throw. They're going to call the foul on Cooper. They're going to say that he fouled Crawford as he went up for the layup and that the rebound from Chapman wasn't until after the whistle was blown. Crawford makes the second free throw, a 1-for-2 trip at the line. That's probably been the weak spot of this Lane team, is the free throw shooting. They're only shooting 61.5% as a team, and right there, another 1-for-2 trip. 28-16, the Titans lead. Albert drops it off inside. Rippery lays it in. Nice finesse around Chapman. Back to a 10-point game. Crawford double team, gives it over to Makinich. He'll put up another triple, and he bottoms it.
And that bucket was the result of that double team called by Clark off of that pick and roll. And Lane continuing to find success with those outside shooters using the pick and roll to draw defenders.
Albert trying to go over for Clark. It's tipped away and stolen by the Titans. Makinich hands it off for Crawford. He'll dribble it inside the arc, looking for Makinich, and finally gives it to him. Blythe to Wallace on the right wing. Back over to Blythe in the corner and hands it off to Wallace. He'll put up a long three-pointer, just short, rebounded by Rippery. And a foul. I believe they're going to get Blythe in the midcourt. 9:52 to play here in the first half, and a media timeout's going to be called. Lane with a 31-18 lead. And right now, I still think the story of the game is the rebounding battle. Lane currently out-rebounding Clark 18-5.
And I mean, yeah, it's been the rebounding battle, especially on the offensive boards for Lane, as we've continued to say. It has been the absolute key to Lane's success here. All of those second chance points have they've really blown this game open for Lane, and they would not have the lead that they would have without getting all of those rebounds, especially those offensive ones for those putbacks that have been extremely key to Lane's offense. But let's not discount that three-point shooting. A couple of threes made by some unlikely contenders by Lane, but they've gone in nonetheless. You know, sometimes if you're open, you can just shoot them, and that's what's been happening so far for Lane.
It definitely has been some guys that you're not really used to shooting three-pointers, especially with Zach Brown, Cole Makinich, and Khalil Chapman being the only ones to make three-pointers. The usual guys like Brad Lackey and a guy like Jay Elmore, who's not playing today, and Lackey, who is an excellent three-point shooter. He's 0 for 3 from the arc today. Wallace 0 for 2, another really strong three-point shooter. So like you said, it's just been the not usual guys drilling those deep shots. Lane as a team, though, only shooting 4 of 13 from beyond the arc. And this is a team that shoots 36.2% from three-point range, so definitely a little bit below their season average. Nonetheless, they lead 31-18, a 14-point lead as we're over halfway through this first half of basketball. Into the corner, Portis back out now. Nicholson, they're going around to the elbow. Rippery working on McGarvey, spins around the hook, airballed. Wallace brings it up the far side of the court, gets a screen from Brown, gives it over to Ford. He'll throw it over his head for Lackey at the top. He'll drive inside on Albert, puts up a wild pass up to McGarvey, and he'll lay it in. Has a size advantage over Rippery, and it makes it a 33-18 lead for the Titans. Portis hands it off to Albert. They'll give it now inside. Clark hands it off. Shot no good from Albert as Wallace snags it. Ford spinning his way off of Nicholson. Then hands it off to Wallace. Back into the near corner for Ford. He'll get a screen, and he'll give it to McGarvey at the top. Lackey, 8 seconds on the shot clock into the corner for Ford. He'll drive in the arc, into the block, lost the ball, and a foul's going to be called. Foul is going to be on number 10, Levi Nicholson. That's his first, 4th foul for Clark. Lane's going to take out from the baseline.
And Tyshawn Ford, they're really trying to get something to work. Could not get anything to work, though.
Ford gives it inside. Brown back at his man in, kicks it to the corner for Lackey, out to the top for Ford. He'll drive his way into the arc and is fouled.
And Clark does not seem to be happy with that call, specifically Levi Nicholson. But the call will stand as Clark has rallied up a couple of fouls here as of late. They have to start worrying about the bonus.
Nicholson, that was the second foul, and immediately checks out. Cooper comes into the game for him. Lackey bounces it now for Brown at the top of the arc. Gives it over to Ford on the left side. He'll dribble his way to the top, gives it to Lackey, right wing. 3-pointer, it's good. Brad Lackey, his first triple of the game. It's 36-18 as the Titans double up the Penguins. Albert into the arc, kicks it inside. Johnson, no good, got his own board. Trying to throw it to the top, and his pass was picked off by Lackey, but a foul's going to be called right before that. McGarvey is going to be whistled for the foul. It's his first, 5th foul for Lane, so both teams with 5 fouls a pair. Bonus approaching for both. Ripieri hands it off to Albert. Over the right wing, Johnson back to the top for Albert. He'll put up a 3-pointer. That one rolls off the heel. Ripieri in the offensive board. Portis into the block. Turnaround. Mid-range jumper good for Johnson. 36-20, Lane with the lead. Ford hands it off to Lackey. He'll dribble his way, get a screen from McGarvey. Out for Wallace. 3-pointer from the top, off to the right, rebounded by Johnson. Albert into the corner. Cooper will dribble it out and give it back to Albert. In the near corner, Johnson, an open 3-pointer. It's good. 36-23, 5 straight points for Clark after the Titans led 36-18.
And they really needed that to stay in this game as it was starting to get away from them. But we'll see if they can continue to score. This has been a struggle.
Wallace, another 3-pointer, too strong. Rebounded by Brown offensively. Lackey puts up a 3, and he answers another 3-pointer. Back-to-back triples for Brad Lackey behind the arc, and it's 39-23.
Well, Lackey, a known 3-point shooter, shooting 35% this year. Those back-to-back ones help Lane.
Cooper inside, drops it off for Portis. He'll pump fake and put up a floater. It's good. 39-25, 14-point lead for the Titans. Ford driving the baseline, kicks to the corner for Lackey. He'll angle his way inside the arc, give it to McGarvey. A triple from the top, it rolls in.
And these 3-pointers for Lane have been key. Another one coming from an unlikely suspect. It's been the story of today.
McGarvey, a 26% 3-point shooter, but the big man, 6'9" and all, hits the 3-pointer. Portis, a teardrop, it goes in. And it's 42-27 as Clark answers back.
I mean, size doesn't mean everything when it comes to 3-point shooting. Karl Anthony Towns just won the NBA's 3-point contest.
Absolutely, but, you know, in the community college level, it's not very likely.
You have a point. But credit to McGarvey, who has hit 2 today. I'm sure those will help his percentages a little bit.
He's only hit 1 today. He's
Oh,
1 for
excuse me.
1. Chapman, the other 6'9" guy, hit a 3-pointer too. So both of the Twin Towers for the Titans hitting triples. McGarvey, too strong on the first free throw. And again, like I said, I think this has been the biggest area of concern for this Titans team is the free throw shooting. I mean, as a team, 61.5%. That's pretty poor.
I wouldn't say that's pretty poor. I'd say that's really poor. You can't be, as a team, shooting that poor from the foul line, though Lane has still been extremely successful this season.
McGarvey 0 for 2 on this trip. Lane today from the free throw line, 3 of 6. Mid-range jumper, no good for Johnson. Wallace, another rebound, wrestles his way free, and the Titans will bring it up the floor with Ford on the top. He'll swing it to Lackey on the near corner, throws it over his head, back to Ford at the top. He'll put up a three-pointer this time, and it's good. Tyshawn Ford, the triple. 45-27. Portis, a response, won't go. Ford clears, throws it up the floor for Lackey. He'll put up a three-pointer, won't roll in. Wallace, another board, but he lost it, and it's snagged in the corner by Clark. 4:35 to play, first half. Albert throws it off Brown and out of bounds, staying here with the Penguins.
You almost wonder if Lane is playing upset. They lost their last game to Portland. And, Lane right here trying to make a statement saying, hey, that was just a hiccup. We are for real. We think we're the best team in this conference. And they're really doing everything to prove, hey, we're upset. That was a mistake. Let's not think about it.
They actually beat Portland on Monday.
Oh, it says
in their last game out, they avenged their loss to Portland, winning 81-68. 44 minutes and 33 seconds left here in the first half of basketball. And yes, in that game against Portland, they won 81-68. Elmore led the way with 16 points, but he's not on the floor tonight. He's wearing a hoodie. Khalil Chapman, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Dominic McGarvey, he had 12 points and 9 rebounds, and they both played really, really well. And, I think this is continued here tonight. The big men, they're showing out, but just not in the post. McGarvey able to shoot a triple, and then Khalil Chapman, another triple for them. Not really the big men working from the inside. It's been the opposite. You've had guys like Isaiah Wallace with 8 rebounds tonight, and he's not a guy that you're normally seeing getting boards.
Well, I mean, that's the truth, and it's been a lot of offensive boards to boot, which are so valuable. And you're right, it's really been an inside-out game for Lane, which is, not typical at any level.
Albert on the baseline. Inbounds it into Clark on the top. We'll swing it over now. Albert, again, lost it inside on the block. Makinich brings it up the floor, kicks it over to Crawford on the right wing. Inside to the post for Chapman. Working in on Clark, spinning his way free, lost it, and missed the shot. Off of Blythe and out of bounds. Lane leading 45-27. This is their largest lead. They've had it to 18 a couple of times, and they lead by 18 here. Cooper, guarded by Ford, gets a screen from Albert, angles his way into the arc, gives it to the top. Portis, a three-pointer, it's cash. 45-30, Clark, the first time they trailed by 18, they hit a triple, and again, down by 18, another three-pointer. Ford going into Chapman on the low block. Hook shot around, bounces out. Rebounded by Clark. Johnson driving in on Blythe, spinning his way inside, hands it off. Clark lays it in, and 5 straight points by the Penguins makes it a 13-point game.
And Lane has to be careful there. They drew an extra defender in to help with that, but they left Andre Cooper wide open in the corner. They continue to do that. It could bite.
Makinich, three-pointer won't go. Rebounded offensively by Chapman, drops it down for Makinich, and will lay it in. Nice pass from Khalil Chapman. The big man going to work on the assist chart. Portis To the top for Cooper. He'll pump fake a three and dribble it to the left wing. Gets a screen from Clark as he goes inside the arc. Stops in the low block. Kicks it to the corner for Portis. He'll go to the short corner. Pull up for mid-range two-pointer, and it's good. 47-34 now. Lead back to 13. Crawford to Blythe to the far corner for Makinich. Blythe gives him a screen, bounces it before giving it to Chapman. He'll bounce it down on the baseline for Ford. Got blocked, but he's fouled.
And Tayshaun Ford, you know, really thinks he's a lot bigger than he is, really loves to attack the basket. And while it doesn't always result in a basket, he's great at drawing those free throws, as this is not his first set of free throws today.
Ford makes the free throw. Tayshaun Ford, the 5'10 freshman guard from Portland, hopes to start his own fashion line one day. As he makes the free throw, and it's a 15-point lead for the Titans. The Penguins looking to score some points before the end of the half, make it a closer game. Albert, a long mid-range jumper, it's good. 13-point game again, 49-36. Ford step backs to the top of the arc, hands it off to Blythe. Into the corner for Kobe Crawford. He'll put up a triple, and it goes in. Kobe Crawford, a triple makes it 52-36. Johnson, a three in response, won't go. Snagged by Ford. He'll throw it up. A laser to Blythe. He'll hand it to Chapman, and he's fouled.
And Kobe Crawford, another unlikely suspect. He's only shooting 23% from three this year. What is it? What are they putting in the water today for Lane?
Lane's making these triples. They're taking the shots. They're shooting 40.9% from beyond the arc here in the first half as Chapman's at the line. And he'll make the free throw. 53-36. We still have 95 seconds left here in the first half of basketball. Lane right now has scored 53 points, an impressive offensive showing. Chapman good at the line. And it's 54-36. They're going to get a foul on Crawford before the inbound. So Clark's going to take out from the baseline because the whistle was before the inbound pass. Lane coming with a double team on Albert. He'll throw it up the floor, looking for Clark, but it's taken away by Makinich. Crawford, left wing, a three-pointer, off, snagged by Norris. Albert gives it up the floor for Clark. He'll go up with his left hand. Won't get it to fall over McGarvey. 1:05 seconds remaining here in the first half. Ford keeps it to the baseline, kicks it to Makinich in the corner. Just a little off and out of bounds, off of the Titans.
And Makinich trying to take another three. This one not going down off of a really, really good pass from Tayshaun Ford. He seems to be really good at those, kind of jump passes from the baseline to hit those open shooters in the corner.
Norris into the corner. Johnson, a three-pointer, short off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Ford. Ford is fouled. A whistle going to be called on, I believe, Cooper. And a one-and-one's coming up. Foul is on Cooper. That's his second. Now, Tayshaun Ford going to the line for a one-and-one with a chance to make this a 20-point game. Ford makes the first free throw. Ford shooting 58.5% from the foul line this season, but so far today, he's 3 for 3 at the line.
Well, that's good improvement to see. You don't want to see one of your best guards shooting that poorly from the line.
And he stays perfect here today. He'll check out. Wallace will come into the game. It's a 20-point Titan lead.
And Ford seems to have hurt his hand, maybe.
Clark
Hopefully he's okay.
bounces it to Albert, gives it to the top for Johnson. He'll drive in on Makinich, spin his way inside, trying to back down Makinich, and a 1-and-1 is going to come up. They're going to call a foul on the floor on Cole Makinich. Sean Johnson at the line, a sophomore from Danville. Like you said, he went to your high school, Monte Vista High School.
Indeed, he did.
Makes the front of the 1-and-1, makes it a 19-point game. Open to study either business or kinesiology after his time at Clark as he goes 2 for 2 on this trip. Titans have a chance to hold for the final shot if they choose. Sangarano gets a screen from McGarvey, gives it to the top for Wallace. 15 seconds on the shot clock and game clock. McGarvey, he'll put up a three-pointer off to the right. Albert pushing up the floor, gives it up for Cooper, trying to go inside for Clark, but it's knocked out of bounds with 4.7 seconds remaining. Clark with a chance here to cut the halftime deficit. They trail by 18. Albert to inbound, gets it in for Cooper. He'll give it to Albert, a three-pointer at the top. It's good. 56-41 is going to be the halftime score. Lane currently leading by 15 points. And an interesting decision by Coach Matt Zosel and the Lane Community College Titans here to not opt for the final shot, decide to go with a triple to McGarvey at the top with 10 seconds remaining in the half. And because of that missed shot, it results in 3 points for Clark to make it a 15-point game at the break.
You know, obviously not what they wanted there, but they were just trying to get the best shot that they could get. They didn't really care about the time. Comes to bite them there, but they still have a 15-point lead going into this second half.
Well, do you think that is the best shot that they could get? They still have 10 seconds left, and you go with McGarvey at the top for a triple, and he's only shooting about 27% from three-point range.
I never said they took the best shot. I said they were looking for the best shot.
Yeah, and definitely, for sure. Lane's in that first half, again, the rebounding battle. The Titans out-rebounded Clark 28-13, and a lot of the rebounding was done by Isaiah Wallace. 8 rebounds by the shifty guard. Talk about his impact on the boards.
Well, I mean, just having a guard be able to grab rebounds, especially offensive rebounds like that, can be a great help to a team. You know, it's just a guy that you don't expect. He comes in there, swoops in, grabs some rebounds, and, you know, just rebounds are just a valuable asset. And to have a guy who doesn't usually grab them, just a big help to a team.
Last game, Sean Johnson and Rodwin Albert, they combined for 59 points between the two. So far here in the first half, Johnson 15 points, Albert 10 points. Talk about what the Titans did defensively to hold them to a limited scoring.
Well, I mean, the Titans were great defensively, and, you know, just great the rim protection. And, you know, Clark just didn't really shoot the three ball well. They had a couple guys make threes, but overall, just Lane had played a great job of defending down the middle, defending on the inside, and, you know, it just led to a lot less open shots for Clark. And those two guys who were typically great scorers were just held tight by that Lane defense.
So that'll do it for us for this first half of basketball. Don't go anywhere. In about 13 minutes or so, we'll be right back for the second half. Lane currently leading by 15, 56-41. You're listening to the Lane Community College live stream on YouTube. Welcome back. Second half of basketball about to take place here at Lane Community College. The Titans lead 56-41. Knight Uretsky, Logan Thompson with you guys. Clark, they hit a three-pointer right at the buzzer to make it a 15-point game, and they'll start with a triple now. It won't go. Rebounded offensively inside. Albert into the corner. Johnson, a three-pointer, and that splashes in. A 12-point game, 56-44. Ford gets a screen from Brown, drives his way inside, right lane layup is good. And Tyshawn Ford gets on the board again. He's now 2 of 4 from the field, 9 points. Johnson, right wing, guarded by Wallace. Pump fakes, hands it off to Nicholson in the far corner. He'll drive in on Lackey, stops on the low block, bounces it inside. Layup is good from Rippery, and it's now 58-46. Tyshawn Ford dribbling it for the Titans, throws it over the right wing for Lackey. He'll drive in on Johnson, got it poked away. Johnson hits it out of bounds, gonna stay here with the Titans. They're gonna mop up the floor a little bit. Again, this Lane Community College team, number 3 in the NWAC, 18-3 overall. They're 9-2 in the conference. Clark, 12-11, 5-6 in the conference. Last time these two teams played, it was a 5-point win for Lane as Brown misses a shot, rebounded by Johnson. Albert to the right side, Rippery driving inside, no good, off the glass and rim, rebounded by Ford. Wallace on the right sideline, hands it off to McGarvey, to the left wing for Ford, back to McGarvey at the top. Gives it to Lackey, he'll swing it back to Brown, hands it to Ford. Brown gives him a screen, and Ford will dribble it outside the perimeter. Low block, layup blocked, Ford got it back, gave it to McGarvey, and he'll lay it in.
Great job by Ford there, nearly falling out of bounds, getting that one back in there, saving a possession for Lane.
14-point Titan lead. Johnson in the corner, guarded by Wallace. He'll drive inside, short corner, mid-range jumper's good. Sean Johnson had 30 points in their last game. Now he's up to 20. Brown from the left elbow, looking for a pass. Wallace was cutting, and a foul's going to be called on the baseline. Foul is going to be on Levi Nicholson, the redshirt freshman from Vancouver. Again, Clark is in Vancouver, Washington, making the trip down south here to Eugene. Wallace arguing for a kick ball, and he'll get the call. Ford inbound. Claps his hands, throws it to the corner. Lackey, a triple, just rattles out.
A surprising miss from Lackey right there. He was wide open. It's like Clark forgot about him.
Albert going to the left elbow. Johnson puts up a shot, too strong. Lackey the board. Isaiah Wallace will bring it up the near side of the court. Lane wearing the white uniforms, Clark in the black uniforms, going from our left to right. As Ford puts up a teardrop, it falls.
And Tyshawn Ford continues his relentless attack at the rim, where he has continued all game to put up shots there.
Nicholson inside is fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Lackey's going to get whistled before the foul. That's his first. Nicholson at the line. He's had a quiet night today, and will remain quiet. He's 0 for 2 at the line, and he has yet to register a point. He does have 3 fouls. His second free throw, no good, and a whistle. Lane violation on Clark. Lane basketball, 16:55 remaining in the second half. It's a 14-point lead for the Titans. Wallace swings it over to Lackey, down to McGarvey on the left wing. Back to Lackey at the top. He'll dribble his way into the arc and then gives it to Ford in the corner. They'll swing it to Wallace. A three-pointer off the back of the rim. A little too strong, too. Albert goes behind his back, dribbles out to the right arc. Wallace will come up in the perimeter. Albert gets a screen, goes the opposite direction, gives it to Johnson in the corner. Johnson throws it to the elbow. Rapieri, he'll drive in on Brown, goes off the glass, no good. Too strong on the finish. Lackey brings it up the far side of the floor. They forgot about him. A triple's good.
That's the second time already this quarter that they've forgotten about Lackey. This time, he makes them pay.
Brad Lackey owns the three-point shooting record at his high school. That is in Vancouver, Washington. Not playing for Clark, he's playing for the Titans, and it's paying off tonight. Johnson no good on the mid-range jumper, rebounded by Ford. He'll throw it up the floor for Lackey, looks in the eye and gives it back to Ford. He'll drive inside the arc, trying to go back to McGarvey, but it's tipped and taken away. Albert bounces it to Clark. He'll lay it short off of Lackey, gonna stay here with the Penguins. .31 remaining in the second half. It's a 17-point lead for the Titans. Lane's consistently led from about 18 to 10 points as Johnson misses a three-pointer short. But the Penguins have not been able to get back into single digits. Lackey driving right lane, lays it in. Nice roll for Brad Lackey. And it's a 19-point lead for the Titans, their largest of the night.
And Lackey grabbing that rebound, putting it up himself.
Foul going to be called inside. Foul is going to be on Wallace. That's his first. Clark's going to take out from the baseline. Portis inbound, throws it up to the top. Albert snags it over Lackey. He'll put up a three-pointer, rolls off. Rebounded by McGarvey. Under 15 minutes now. Lackey, left wing, gives it to the top for Ford. He'll take a dribble and then put up a three-pointer and bottoms it. 70-48 for the Titans. Ford trying to get back on the defensive end. Poked it free momentarily. Clark now inside. Blocked by McGarvey.
And McGarvey showing, hey, I am that big.
Timeout on the floor. 14:43 remaining in the second half. Lane, a dominant start to the second half. They led by 15 at the break. They're currently leading by 22 in the second half in the early 5 minutes and 17 seconds. What have you seen from the Titans that's been able to stretch their lead?
Well, I mean, it's been the stretching of the floor. You know, they've gotten a three. I'm sorry, I had to. They had the three there. And, you know, it's just been an overall, you know, they're just playing their game and they're playing it well. They haven't done anything particularly special. They've just continued to be the Lane team that they've been all year. And that's a team that'll be more efficient than you on offense and lock you down on defense. You know, it's just Lane being Lane, I think is the best way to kind of put it.
Tyshawn Ford shooting 4 of 7 from the field, including 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He has 14 points as well as 6 rebounds and 6 assists. He's pretty much doing it all. Talk about his play for the Titans.
I mean, his play has been key. He's been the main ball handler. He's been running the offense. At times, it feels like he can get a tad too aggressive, and it can lead to a couple of turnovers. But recently, he hit the three. He's been, you know, and usually when he drives into the paint, if he doesn't make it, he usually gets fouled, but his aggression has actually been a strength overall today, even though occasionally it has led to a couple turnovers. But him running this offense has led it to great success.
Back in action, Nicholson to inbound. Claps his hand looking for somebody, throws it in for Clark, finds an open Johnson in the corner. He'll put up a three-pointer. Short, hits the top of the backboard, and rebounded by Chapman. Clark gets it back and is fouled and going to the line.
You know, and then the surprising thing there is that they didn't pass it to Albert Rodwins, who was wide open in the corner and clapping his hands. They didn't see him. Or I don't know if they didn't see him, they just chose not to pass to him. He was wide open.
So now Clark will go to the line. Liam Clark, a sophomore from Port Angeles, Washington. He was a dual sport athlete in high school. He did basketball and track. He won multiple letters at both sport and was all-league in both track and basketball. Was actually a 3-time winner in track and actually qualified for the state championships as he made his first free throw at 70-49. Clark misses the second one, snagged by McGarvey in the air. Crawford throws it up to the floor for Blythe, lays it up with his left hand, short, and knocked out of bounds. Going to stay here with Lane.
And Clark using that very speed you talked about, Liam Clark that is, using that very speed you just talked about to put a good contest on that shot there.
Makinich, Blythe, Chapman, McGarvey, and Crawford on the floor. It's exciting. You get McGarvey and Chapman on the floor, both 6'9" players. Ethan Blythe swings it to Makinich. He'll give it over to Crawford on the left wing, looking to go inside for Chapman, and does. Chapman backing his way on Rippery, short on the hook.
Based on the way this game has gone, something tells me one of them's going to shoot a 3.
Rippery hands it off. Nicholson driving in on Crawford, tried to kick it to Clark, goes off of a Lane player, and kicked ball violation there a call. Either way, it's Penguin basketball. 14:05 remaining in the second half. Lane with a 21-point lead. The women's basketball team won by 20-plus points, although this season that's the norm for them. They've won every single one of their games by 20-plus points. Is now a turnover, and it gives the ball back to Lane. Not really sure what happened there. There was a stoppage, and they blew the whistle and gave the ball back to the Titans. Blythe on the left wing, looking for an option, finds McGarvey at the top. He'll give it to Crawford on the right wing. He gave him a screen, but Crawford went the other way. They gave it to McGarvey. To Chapman, kicks it over. Makinich, a three-pointer. Too strong, snagged in the air by Rippery. Portis behind his back, jump step inside the block, and then gives it back to the top. Albert gives it over to Nicholson, a triple, no good. Crawford grabs the board, throws it up the floor for McGarvey, a dunk. He flushed it. Dominic McGarvey, his second dunk of the game, 72-49. Blythe knocks it out of bounds, going to stay here with the Penguins. 25 seconds remain on the shot clock.
And you know, the reason that Lane has chosen to bring in McGarvey and Chapman is obviously for defensive reasons. Coach feels they need to get some extra help in the paint. And at this point, they're dealing with the over 20 lead right now. They want some defense out there to secure the win.
Clark no good on the hook shot. Chapman cleared it. Now Makinich driving the left baseline, trying to go to the top, taken away. A steal for the Penguins. Jabari Porras throws it up the floor for Nicholson, crosses up Chapman, goes up with the right hand. Strong finish from Levi Nicholson. 72-51, lead back to 21. Blythe dribbles it to the top, hands it off to Makinich. Right wing for Crawford. Gets a screen from Chapman as he dribbles it to the top. Chapman pump fakes a three, drives inside the block. Now puts up a hook. Won't fall, and a foul's going to be called. Foul is going to be on number 24, Khalil Chapman, so an offensive foul.
Interesting. And back comes in Lackey, who has been really good so far today.
Yeah, McGarvey checks out, so we won't see the Twin Towers out there again, but Lackey at the top comes in on the defensive end. Liam Clark hands it off. Johnson, left wing. Got a screen from Clark, went the opposite direction. Blythe strips him. It's a steal.
You know, that looked like all arm to me, but there's going to be no call on the refs there.
Makinich gives it to Blythe to the corner. Lackey, a three-pointer, bottoms it.
Very little doubt there about that one going in. He has been hot today.
Brad Lackey the three-pointer. He's up to 18 points today. He got his 4th straight start, and he's been making his minutes count. A steal for the Titans. Lackey in the open floor with Crawford. Bounces it to Crawford. Blocked from behind. Albert, great defense from the back. But Lackey gets the board, gives it to Blythe at the top. A three-pointer. Cash.
And there you go. Lackey making another play. This time getting the steal. It's going to lead to another 3, this time for Blythe and Lane. This lead is now up to 27.
27-point lead for the Titans, 78-51 the score. A timeout's going to be called with 11 minutes and 33 seconds. And for Clark right now, what do you got to do to get back into this game? You had it a 15-point game at the break. You thought the momentum maybe starting to swing back to the Penguins after hitting that triple right at the buzzer, but instead it's been the opposite. It's been a 27-point lead now for the Titans that they've been able to stretch it. How do the Penguins get back into this?
I think they really have to start calling some more structured plays. It's looked really unstructured on the offensive end for the Penguins, and it's led to them not really getting a lot of quality shots. I think if they really want to get some quality shots, try to slow it down a little maybe, try to maybe get some open corner threes. You know, it's obviously a lot easier to say that than for that to actually happen for them. But, you know, I haven't seen their offense be able to do much as of recent, and it's led to them just not scoring.
A lot of that has to do with the play from Sean Johnson. He had 20 points with about 16 minutes remaining here in the second half, and he's been stuck on that 20 number. He's now shooting 7 of 19 from the field, as well as Rodwin Albert. He's only shooting 4 of 10, so Lane's been doing a really great job against those two players who combined for 59 points in their last game. What do you think Clark has to do to get the ball in those guys' hands and get them those open looks?
Really try to, really try to call some design plays for those guys. I'm sure that's in their back pocket there. And, you know, if you still want to have a chance in this game, you got to start shooting, and you got to start shooting now.
We're back in action as Rodwin Albert will bring it up the floor. Bounces it down to Johnson at the high post. Driving inside on Blythe, he stripped him, but it found its way to Norris and then a whistle. Foul is going to be on Makinich. It's his second. It's the 5th foul on Lane. The bright spot you could say for Clark is they've only been whistled for 1 foul in this half. Rippery gives it to the elbow. Norris, now Albert at the top, a triple off to the left.
Another miss.
Albert shooting 4 of 11 today. Crawford gives it to Makinich at the top. Over for Lackey on the left wing. Back to the top for Chapman. He'll pump fake, drive inside to the block. Turns around, kicks it to the corner for Makinich. He'll drive, reverse layup. No good, got his own board. Second chance goes.
And those offensive rebounds again coming back for Lane. This time grabbing his own there, putting it back up and in.
Right side, Portis. He'll drive into the block, kicks it inside Rippery, lost it. Blythe trying to save it and does, gives it to Makinich. Crawford dribbling up the near side of the court, kicks it over to Lackey. A three-pointer, off. Rebounded by Albert and then out of bounds off of the Titans. Actually, no, they're going to call a foul on Makinich. That's his 3rd. Albert had his pass picked off. Brad Lackey won't be able to dunk it.
He wanted that dunk. Oh, and I wanted it for him.
As the great Chick Hearn would say, the mustard's off the hot dog. And now a foul on the other side. Rippery's the one that's fouled. They're going to get Chapman with the foul. That's his 4th. So Khalil Chapman has 4 fouls with 10:05 remaining here in the second half. Gavin Rippery at the line. Zach Brown's going to check into the game for Chapman. A 1-and-1 now with Rippery, as that is the 7th foul on Lane. Chapman just dropped his own chair. as the free throw is good from Rip Reed. Second of the 1-and-1. No good. Lackey clears it. Over halfway through the second half, 80-52. Brown backing his way in on Norris. Turnaround left-handed hook is good. Zach Brown, a basket. He's now up to 7.
And checks in, immediate basket. That's a good sign right there for Lane.
Portis on the right wing, gives it to the top for Norris. Swings it over. Albert, a triple off to the right. Blythe clears it. Right wing for Lackey into the corner. Crawford thought about a triple and will instead drive inside and is fouled. A blocking foul is going to be whistled against Jabari Portis. And a media timeout is going to be called with 9:23 to play. Lane with an 82-52 lead. It's a 30-point lead for the Titans, and this is shaping up to be the biggest victory of the season for Lane. They're right now at 82 points with 9:23 to play. They have not scored over 100 points all season. The closest they came was against Big Ben on Saturday, December 18th, so a long time since then. And Lane's just putting up really good numbers right now. What do you think, Logan? You think this is within reach, 100? Do you think they're going to get it?
Oh, it's definitely within reach, especially with how they've been playing as of late. The three-pointers have been falling. They've been able to find open shooters. If Lane continues to play the way that they've played this entire game, very little doubt in my mind that they hit that 100 mark. Something serious has to change if they don't hit it.
Lane with 4 players in double figures. Makinich has 10, McGarvey 13, Tyshawn Ford has 14, and Brad Lackey has 18. It's been a pretty even keel scoring. Everybody that's checked into the game has scored today.
Well, that's always a good sign. You love to get everybody involved.
It's pretty impressive. The only 3 players that have not gotten any scoring have been Jacob Tompkins, Vaughn Marshall, and Riley Sangamano. Coming back from the media timeout, Kobe Crawford at the line. Crawford makes the first free throw. And it's 83-52, a 31-point lead, the largest in the night. Kobe Crawford, a former first-team All-League player in high school, originally from Portland. This is the second of the 1-and-1. And now, up the floor, Clark will bring it. Portis backing his way in on Crawford. Gets a screen now. Hands it off. Norris drives to the foul line before kicking it back to Portis, and a foul is going to be called against Kobe Crawford.
I don't know if I really agree with that. To me, it looked like the offensive player threw a shoulder into him. But nonetheless, that is the call, and it's going to lead to free throws here as Lane already has 8 fouls today with 9 minutes left in this quarter.
Yeah, 8 fouls, and it's going to be 1-and-1 for the rest of the way for the Penguins. First of the 1-and-1, no good from Portis, and Lackey will bring it up the far side of the court. Blythe at the top, kicks it over to Crawford on the right wing. He'll put up a triple. Too strong, bounces its way out to the arc, and Makinich corrals it. Foul is going to be called on the floor. They're going to get Nicholson with the foul. That's his 4th. That's going to prompt Cooper to come in for him as the Titans will take out from the far sideline. Blythe gets it in for Crawford. Lackey driving right lane, off the glass and in. $85-52. And a kickball is going to be called on Brad Lackey. Going to keep it here with the Penguins. Cooper to inbound, throws it up for Clark at the top. Swings it over to Norris, down to the low block. Johnson fouled and going to the line to shoot 2. Sean Johnson's going to the line to shoot 2 free throws. He's still at the 20 points. He's been scoreless for about 10 minutes or so of this game. He's the leading scorer for this Penguins team as he makes the first free throw.
We'll see if that unlocks something in him. Getting over that hump.
He goes 2 for 2, up to 22 points. But he hasn't hit a field goal in a long time. He's shooting 7 of 20 tonight. A poor shooting day despite the 22 points. Blythe over to Crawford on the right wing. Jump steps his way inside, lost it, and it was knocked out of bounds. Crawford was arguing for a foul. They won't give him to him. He's going to take out from the baseline. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They'll throw it up to Brown. Goes back to Crawford, down to the low block for Makinich. Out, a triple. It's good. Brad Lackey again.
And it just seems like Clark just, Brad Lackey will be quiet for a couple minutes. They'll forget about Lackey. He'll get wide open, and he'll hit the shot. It's like, if you're Clark, how do you keep forgetting about him?
Makinich knocks it out of bounds, and, I don't know how you forget about a guy like Brad Lackey. I mean, he's from Vancouver. If you're Clark, you should have recruited this kid out of high school, especially because he was a 2-time all-league player in Vancouver, as well as the high school three-pointing shooting record holder there. But they let him sleep away. He gets out of Vancouver, comes down to Eugene, and in the last 4 games, he's really stepped it up. He's gotten 4 straight starts, and with those starts, he's been able to improve on his game every single time. And so far today, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Albert on the right wing, crosses up Wallace, mid-range jumper off to the right, rebounded inside by Clark. He'll go up with the left hand and finish over Zach Brown.
He seemed to take a little ankle there, just couldn't finish the shot.
Ford, Wallace, Brown, Crawford, and Sangermano on the floor. Crawford bounces it to Ford in the short corner. He'll put up a mid-range jumper. It rattles in. 90-56. They're throwing it up the floor, Clark that is, and it goes out of bounds off of Cooper. It's a turnover quickly for the Penguins, and it's Lane basketball.
We were asking if they were going to hit 100. There's about 7 minutes left. They're 10 off with the ball. It's looking very likely right now.
Yeah, it's looking very likely. A bit surprised by this loss. Lead right now. As they throw it up and inside for Brown. Kicks it to the corner. Sangermano, a three-pointer. Bottoms it. The bench is going wild. They're all standing up. Riley Sangermano, he's averaging just 1.2 points per game. He checks into the game and he hits a three-pointer.
You'll love to see that. It says he's shooting 50%. I wonder if that's because he's only taken 2 threes all season.
Inside, and he's fouled. I'll look that up right now. I'll see if I can figure out how many three-pointers Riley Sangermano has shot. Sangermano, a freshman out of Junction City. There's a whistle on the floor on the far side. Albert's going to go to the line and shoot 2. Wallace is whistled with a foul. Albert misses the first free throw. Albert's second free throw is good, so it's 93-57. He's taken more than threes. He's 2 of 4 on three-pointers this year.
Excuse me.
So now he's 3 of 5, as there's a steal from Cooper, throwing it up the floor for Albert. Layup no good, short, got his own board, goes up again, count the basket and 1. Foul is going to be on Riley Sangermano. So 60% from beyond the arc this year for Riley Sangermano.
Now that's really impressive if I do say so myself.
And again, everybody's just getting in on the action. Everybody that's checked in today has scored some points. Sangermano checks in. It's a triple. As now Kobe Crawford will check out. Cole Makinich checks in. It's a 34-point lead and make it 33 points after the free throw. 6:15 remaining here in this game. Wallace spins his way free. Long two-point jumper with his foot on the line. And it's good. 95-60. Rippery into the corner. Three-pointer from Portis. Rattles out. Snagged by Wallace. Tyshawn Ford on the right wing. Gets a screen from Makinich. Drives down the left lane. Stops. Kicks it to Brown. He'll lay it up and in. 97-60. The season high is 98 points for the Titans. They're one short of that right now with 5:33 to play in the second half. Cooper inside on Ford. Blocked. Tyshawn Ford with the rejection from behind, but it's given back out for Albert. His three-pointer no good. Wallace another board, and he'll slow things down for the Titans.
You know, here's a question for you. Who do you think scores the 100th point for Lane?
That is a really good question. My guess is it's going to be a three-pointer. Sangermano gives it over to Wallace. Backing his way inside. He'll do a turnaround. Airballed it off the net.
Well, I'm looking at who hasn't played yet, and it's Tompkins, and it's not Chapman. It is, excuse me, who?
Von Marshall.
Von Marshall, excuse me. Something tells me it's going to be one of those two, because you know what? Everybody's getting involved today.
We haven't seen either of them check in. Not sure if either of them are even suited up today. Wallace at the top. A three-pointer. It's good! And like I said, I thought it would be a triple, and it was. Isaiah Wallace, his first three-pointer of the night as Lane reaches the century mark.
For the first time this season, no less. And that scoreboard up there getting action in that first digit for the first time this season.
Layup is good by Rippery. 100-62. Lane with the lead. And man, is it beautiful to see three numbers on the board.
That one has been waiting its whole season to be seen.
Makinich fouled inside, and he's going to get a line with 4 minutes remaining. Have a day for Isaiah Wallace with that triple. He's up to 7 points today. He also has 10 rebounds, so a little bit of double-double watch. And a timeout's going to be called on the floor. Lane with a 100-62 lead. It's 38 points, and honestly, at this point in the game, it's pretty much over. You could say it is over. What would you like to see from Clark in this closing minutes to just have some bright areas, I guess?
You know, you just want to you just want to see him hit some shots. You know, if you're Clark's head coach, play tough defense, play hard defense, and just hit your shots. You know, it's as simple as that, especially with the game, you know, this kind of out of hand. Maybe put in some guys who haven't gotten a ton of action this season. Give them a chance, see if they can hit a couple shots. And just look for some hard defense, I think. Just, you know, I think give some guys who haven't had a ton of playing time a chance and see if they can hit some shots, play some defense. At this point, it's a bit out of hand.
Cole Makinich is currently juggling. He just stopped, but he juggled it about 5 or 6 times with the ball. By the juggling, I mean like a soccer juggle. Either way, it was impressive. A man of many talents, Cole Makinich.
I mean, on it here, it says his future plans, get that bread.
Absolutely. Maybe he'll use one of his many talents to get that bread someday, but at the line right now, looking for some more.
There you go.
He has 10 points today, as well as 2 rebounds and assists. Makinich's free throw is good. 101-62. It's a 40-point lead for the Titans after Cole Makinich, the former South Eugene product, makes it in. Portis angles his way to the right wing, bounces it to the top. Nicholson driving in on Sangermano, no good on the shot. Finds its way to Wallace, his 11th board of the day. 3:35 to play. Tyshawn Ford at the top. He'll take his time. Wallace on the left wing. Gets a screen from Brown. He'll go back to Zach Brown. He'll put up a three-pointer off to the right, and it's rebounded by Nicholson. Nicholson throws it into the bleachers, out of bounds, a quick turnover with 3:15 remaining. This Clark team was hot. They're 4-1 in their last 5 games. They had just upset number 7 Mount Hood, and they came up to face off against the Lane Titans, who are number 3, and Lane's done really, really well today against the Penguins. Makinich driving inside, lays it up and in. 104-62, a 42-point lead. Albert. Bad pass out of bounds. Lane basketball, 2:43 to play, and a timeout's going to be called by Kevin Johnson and the Penguins.
I wish I could tell you. I don't know if there's maybe besides just getting on him for, maybe not performing how well he wanted. And he does look to be very heated over there from what I can see. But I think it's maybe just, hey, play harder. There's still 2.5 minutes left. Leave everything on the floor. Sleep on the bus.
I still think the most impressive thing is the play on the defense by Lane. Sean Johnson still at 22 points. He hasn't made a field goal in basically an eternity. Still at 7 of 20 shooting. And Rodwin Albert, he's been putting up more shots. He just hasn't been able to make them. 5 of 16. As Sangermano loses it down on the baseline, and it's going to be Penguin basketball. Two and a half left in this one. Albert hands it off to Cooper. He'll pass it from the foul line inside, and Johnson gets back on the board for the first time in forever. It's a 40-point game again, 104-64. Sangermano, left side, gets a screen from Brown, goes back to Brown, and hands it off to Makinich. Ford now drives to the foul line, long two-point jumper, no good. Makinich aboard inside, goes up, puts it in. Strong play by Cole Makinich, 106-64. Albert trying to go to Johnson, tipped away. Ford comes up with it, throws it up the floor, but Nicholson wasn't having that one, swats it out of bounds. 1:42 remains. Lane on the offensive end, gonna have the last few possessions of this game. Makinich had it poked out by Nicholson, and then he gives it up to Ford. Ford thought about a triple, didn't pull, gave it back to Makinich. He'll put up a three-pointer. That's off. Rebounded by Albert. Nicholson keeping it himself. Off the glass, too strong. Ford corrals and slows things down up the floor. Lane with the win today. They're going to improve to 19-3 overall and 10-2 in the conference. And a carrying called on Tyshawn Ford.
And he is shocked, to say the less.
And Matt Zozel, it's his first season as the head coach here at Lane. He's a Titans legend before going to Southern Oregon, as Albert makes a three-pointer, 106-67 now. Built multiple school records at Southern Oregon, but he played here at Lane. And Lane reached their first Final Four last season for the first time since he was a player. And he's done a really good job in this program as Makinich shoots off, rebounded by Ford. He'll go up too strong. Ball finds its way out to Makinich. He'll kick it to the corner for Ford, and then he'll hold. He'll bring it back to the top. But this Lane team, number 3 overall in the NWAC right now. Next week, they're looking ahead to Lynn Benton on Monday. They'll host LBCC as Ford puts up a three-pointer off the heel of the rim, snagged by Cooper. 10 seconds remain as Cooper pulls up from the foul line, rolls off, tipped out of bounds by Clark with 6.7 seconds remaining. Last time that Lane played against LBC, they beat them 74-65 as Ford dribbles it out, and that'll do it for us here. Lane wins massively, a 39-point victory for the Titans, 106-67, and really just a variety of guys got it done. They had 5 players in double figures, and they did a really great job on the defensive end. Logan, what are your final thoughts about this game?
A complete team effort from Lane, probably one of their finest performances of the season. They made a statement here today. The only thing I'm surprised about is they didn't win by 40.
Isaiah Wallace, he led the way on the boards. He had 11 rebounds. A majority of them ended up being offensive rebounds. He also had 7 points today. Brad Lackey was the leading scorer, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for the kid from Vancouver, going up against Clark Community College, which is in Vancouver. Talk about what you saw from Brad Lackey today that really stood out.
Well, I mean, he played tough defense, got a couple steals, and man, he just shot the lights out. He managed to get open, so many times. Clark just forgot about him, and he took open jumpers and made most of them, and just led to a successful day.
Lane wins 106-67 after shooting 46% from the field and 39% from three-point range, while holding Clark to 36% shooting and 32% from three-point range. It was a dominant performance all around as the Titans hang on for another victory. And again, on Wednesday, they're going to host LBCC. I'll be on the call for that one as the Titans look to remain in the top 4. Currently number 3. They've been as high as number 2. But right now, dropped one spot, bounced back, and had a pretty great performance here today. It's been a pleasure. Knight Uretsky, Logan Thompson. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. You've been watching the Lane Community College Titan basketball here on the Lane live stream.